Having faced down poverty, illness, divorce, and the ever-changing taste of the public, Cher continues to beat the odds, winning over generation after generation of fans with her unwavering dedication and endless talent. From her early days to her recent struggles, this is Cher's tragic real-life story. Cher's parents, Georgia Holt and John Sarkeesian, had a short and tumultuous relationship that ended in divorce when Cher was just 10 months old. The singer would know little of her father until Holt briefly reconciled with Sarkeesian when she was 11. Cher's relationship with her father, a struggling gambler and drug addict, was at times volatile and they rarely spoke. Nevertheless, Cher took from her troubled father a deep love and respect for her Armenian heritage. The man whom Cher would consider her real father was Holt's third husband, actor John Southall, but even this marriage failed in the end and Holt and Southall divorced when Cher was 9. In fact, Holt married 7 times in total. In 1978, she told People magazine, "In those days, it wasn't right to sleep with someone if you weren't married, so I ended up getting married a lot."
You have to know that Daddy drilled that into my head because Mother wasn't there. He said, "Don't you ever let a man touch you, ever, 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 unless you're married."
Holt's frequent divorces led to a nomadic and often impoverished lifestyle for young Cher. An aspiring actress and singer, Holt subsisted on bit parts in movies and the occasional singing gig. When Cher was only 2 years old, circumstances became so dire that Holt was forced to place her daughter in the care of a Catholic orphanage for several weeks until she could get on firmer financial footing. In a 2010 cover story, Cher told Vanity Fair of her hardscrabble upbringing. She recalled, "I remember being really ashamed of my clothes. I was so hard on my shoes. I remember going to school with rubber bands around my shoes to keep my soles on." And Holt's occasional inroads to Hollywood made for a sometimes confusing existence. Cher explained, "We ate a can of stew or a can of beans one week, but then sometimes we lived in Beverly Hills. It was a very strange life." In 1963, the 16-year-old Cher left home for Los Angeles, where she met Salvatore "Sonny" Bono, a 27-year-old songwriter and record promoter. Kicked out by her roommates, Cher moved in with Bono, ostensibly in order to work as a housekeeper. Although Bono and Cher initially kept things platonic, a relationship soon developed, both personal and professional. By 1965, Sonny and Cher had found success with the release of their first hit song, "I Got You Babe." A gentle ode to young love against the odds, the song struck a chord with 60s youth culture, catapulting Sonny and Cher to international fame. Sonny and Cher followed "I Got You Babe" with a string of hits, including a re-release of their first single, "Baby Don't Go," and 1967's "The Beat Goes On." Emboldened by their success, the duo attempted to break into the movies with the 1967 comedy Good Times, but the film was a critical and commercial failure. The couple then invested much of their accumulated fortune into the film Chastity, a drama written and produced by Bono as a starring vehicle for Cher. It, too, flopped and brought the couple to the brink of financial ruin. Fate dealt Sonny and Cher yet another blow as shifting tastes made their brand of light, folky pop woefully unhip with youthful audiences, who were turning to a heavier brand of psychedelic music. Now heavily in debt, Sonny and Cher headed for Las Vegas and reinvented themselves as a nightclub act. Ironically, Sonny and Cher's Vegas lounge act became the key to their return to the pop culture spotlight. Their show relied in equal parts on music and comedy and opened the doors to considerable TV success. Premiering in 1971, the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour was a ratings hit, but the following year, cracks were beginning to show in their relationship. Although both Cher and Bono indulged in extramarital affairs, Bono's constant womanizing took its toll on Cher. Speaking about her husband, Cher once explained, "One woman, or even 5, was not enough for him." Choosing to stay married for business reasons, the couple struggled to maintain their public facade while seeing other partners, some of whom would live with them in their house. In a diary entry dated August 21, 1973, Bono wrote, "My public wife is still Cher in order to maintain all the things I want right now. That's the way it has to be." By 1974, the strain of maintaining a public illusion of marital bliss had become unbearable, and Bono finally separated from Cher. In turn, Cher demanded a divorce, citing involuntary servitude as the reason for the marriage's dissolution. Their divorce became final in 1975, and Cher, who had always been content to allow Bono to handle the business end of their careers, walked away virtually penniless and owing her ex-husband millions of dollars. Following her divorce from Bono, Cher attempted to revive both her TV and music careers. Her solo follow-up to the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour titled Cher was a hit, proving wrong Bono himself, who had once told Cher, "America will hate you and you won't have a job." Meanwhile, Bono's competing show, The Sonny Comedy Review, tanked after just one season. Although Cher continued to captivate TV audiences, her fortunes as a recording artist were dismal. Her 1975 album Stars stalled at 153 on the Billboard 200. Her next album, 1976's I'd Rather Believe in You, fared even worse and failed to chart at all. Cher's next post-Sonny effort, 1977's Cherished, also failed to chart. Her subsequent album To the Hard Way, which was a collaboration with her new husband Gregg Allman, was also a misfire. The couple's clashing styles failed to excite public interest among fans of either artist. In 1978, Warner Brothers terminated Cher's contract. In the midst of her acrimonious divorce from Sonny Bono, Cher entered into a whirlwind romance with hard-partying Southern rocker Gregg Allman, the vocalist for the Allman Brothers Band. Cher and Allman wed just 3 days after Cher's 1975 divorce from Bono. Only 9 days later, Cher filed to dissolve the marriage. Having been sheltered from the notorious wild side of the music business by Bono, the singer was ill-prepared to deal with Allman's alcoholism and heroin abuse. In J. Randy Taura-Borelli's biography Cher, the singer explains that Allman was too impaired to even understand that Cher was dumping him. She said, "He was so high he didn't even understand me." Allman, pledging to get clean and sober, reconciled with Cher a month later. However, Cher's decision to reunite with Sonny Bono for a reboot of their successful variety show in 1976 put further strain on the couple's tumultuous relationship, leading to Allman himself filing for divorce.
People love to bring up that you were married to Cher. Are you tired of hearing about that?
Actually, she was married to me.
Allman relented when he learned that Cher was pregnant with their son Elijah Blue, and the two remained married until calling it quits for the last time in 1978. In 2017, Allman lost his long battle with liver cancer, passing away at 69. Cher reacted via Twitter stating, "Words are impossible." With her recording career in a tailspin, Cher chose to focus on her acting. In 1983, she was cast in a supporting role opposite Meryl Streep and Kurt Russell in Silkwood. The film, based on the real-life story of atomic energy whistleblower Karen Silkwood, earned respectable box office returns and critical praise for Cher, who won a Golden Globe and earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Cher followed her Silkwood success with critically acclaimed dramatic roles in the films Mask and Suspect. But her greatest cinematic success would come with the 1987 romantic comedy Moonstruck, for which Cher nabbed the Oscar for Best Actress. By the decade's close, Cher had successfully returned to music with the 1989 hit If I Could Turn Back Time. Yet, just as Cher was enjoying the greatest success of her career, fate would deal her another blow, one that would temporarily sideline her from both film and music. While filming 1987's The Witches of Eastwick, she discovered she had contracted Epstein-Barr virus, although she wouldn't feel the full brunt of the disease until sometime later. As she told the New York Times, "For 2 years I couldn't work. It was terrible. I ended the second year with pneumonia. All these movie offers were coming in, but I had to turn them all down. I was really upset about it. And when I came back, I had to work my way back up from the beginning." By the 1980s, without Cher by his side, Sonny Bono's career as an entertainer was over. In 1988, Bono turned his attention to politics and a successful bid for mayor of Palm Springs, California. Reinventing himself as a conservative politician, Bono ran for Senate in 1992. Although he lost, Bono was undeterred in his ambition to hold national office. In 1994, he was elected to Congress as a representative of California's 44th District. But Bono's new role as a star of the Republican Party would be cut tragically short. While on vacation in Aspen in January 1998, Bono died in a skiing accident. Cher immediately flew from London to Los Angeles when she learned of Bono's death. In a tearful eulogy to her ex-husband, Cher praised Bono for his intelligence and foresight. She said, "He was smart enough to take an introverted 16-year-old girl and a guy with a bad voice and turn them into the most successful, beloved couple of our generation. He allowed himself to be the butt of our jokes, but people don't realize he created Sonny and Cher. He knew what was right for us." Cher's busy career left little time for her to be a conventional mother to her children. In a revealing 2014 interview with Entertainment Tonight, Cher's youngest child, Elijah Blue Allman, opened up about his troubled childhood. He explained, "When you go to boarding school at 7 years old, it's kind of hard to feel like you're not being shunned." Although he's come to terms with his childhood, he still holds some resentment toward his mother. Allman says, "I'm at an age where I'm making peace with it because you just have to, but it doesn't mean it's right. It's still wrong to do that." Allman and his wife, Marie Angela King, briefly moved in with Cher in 2013, but an undisclosed dispute led to mother and son cutting contact with one another. Allman described his relationship with his mother as a work in progress. Allman says, "We have our issues. We've worked through a lot of them. We've got some more to go, but when you're an adult, you take on a different sort of tone than when you're an adolescent. But there's unresolved stuff for sure." Despite their differences, however, Allman says he still admires his mother. He says, "You know, she's really talented. She's gorgeous. I mean, she's Cher. What's not to love?" Cher's marriage to Sonny Bono produced one child, son Chaz Salvador Bono. Born Chastity's son Bono, he underwent a 2-year female-to-male transition beginning in 2008. Bono, then identifying as a woman, was outed as a lesbian by a tabloid in 1990. Despite Cher's reputation as a gay icon, Bono said that his famous mother initially struggled to accept his sexuality and gender identity, before eventually becoming an ardent advocate for LGBTQ rights.
I wanted her to be straight, get married, have a child, get divorced, and live a normal life, like everybody does.
Cher opened up on her acceptance of Bono's transition in a 2018 interview with Pride Source. The singer explained, "I didn't go through it that easily. There's such a fear of losing the child you love and what will replace that child. I felt, who will this new person be? Because I know who the person is now, but who will the new person be? And how will it work, and will I have lost somebody?" Still, she knew her son's happiness must come first. Cher explained, "It doesn't make any difference what anyone else feels or what anyone else thinks. Chaz is so happy now and we get along better than ever." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.